C1. You've been told that if you're struggling financially, you just need to hustle harder. Get a side gig, drive for Uber, sell stuff on Etsy, start a dropshipping business. There are influencers on Instagram showing you their 5-figure months from their laptop at a coffee shop, telling you that financial freedom is just one side hustle away. So you tried it. You spent your evenings and weekends driving strangers around, or building an online store, or freelancing on Fiverr. You're exhausted. You barely see your family. And somehow, you're not any better off financially than you were before. What's going on here? I'm Nick, and I've spent months analyzing the actual economics of side hustles. And what I've found is going to make you want to throw your phone across the room. Because that side hustle that's supposed to set you free? For most people, it's actually a trap that's making them poorer, more stressed, and further away from real wealth than they've ever been. Let me show you the math that the hustle culture gurus don't want you to see. Here's the fundamental problem with side hustles. They sell you on revenue, not profit. Someone posts on social media, "I made $8,000 last month from my side hustle," and you think, wow, that's life-changing money. But what they don't tell you is that they spent $4,500 on Facebook ads, $1,200 on inventory, $800 on software subscriptions, and 80 hours of their time to generate that $8,000. Their actual profit was $1,500. Divide that by 80 hours, and they made $18.75 per hour. That's barely above minimum wage in some states. And that's before taxes. You could have worked overtime at your day job and made more money with less stress. But the Instagram post only shows the $8,000. The profit, the expenses, the time investment, none of that makes it into the caption. You're being shown a vanity metric designed to make you feel like you're missing out. Let's talk about the most popular side hustles and run the actual numbers. Because this is where the lie becomes obvious. Uber and Lyft. This is the classic side hustle. Drive people around, make money on your own schedule, be your own boss. Sounds great, right? Here's the reality. The average Uber driver makes about $15 to $20 per hour before expenses. But you're using your own car, paying for your own gas, covering your own maintenance, and dealing with depreciation that's absolutely destroying your vehicle's value. According to some estimates, when you factor in gas, maintenance, insurance increases, and depreciation, the actual profit drops to about $8 to $12 per hour. You're working for less than minimum wage while wearing out your car. And let's not forget, you're not getting benefits. No health insurance, no retirement match, no paid time off. You're trading your time and destroying your car for poverty wages. But people do it anyway, because they need the cash now. And Uber's marketing makes it sound like easy money. It's not. It's extractive labor disguised as entrepreneurship. Then there's the gig economy platforms. Fiverr, Upwork, TaskRabbit, all of them. You sign up thinking you'll charge $50 an hour for your skills. Except you're competing with people from countries where $50 is a week's wages. The platform takes 20% off the top. You spend hours writing proposals that go nowhere. You deal with clients who want premium work for bargain prices. You chase payments. And after all of that, you might clear $25 an hour, if you're lucky. Oh, and you're paying self-employment tax on top of income tax. That's an extra 15.3% coming out of your pocket. $25 an hour just became $21 after taxes. You're working harder for less money than your day job pays, and you're calling it freedom. E-commerce is even worse. Everyone wants to be the next Shopify millionaire, so they start a drop shipping store or sell handmade goods on Etsy. Here's what actually happens. You spend $2,000 on inventory, or you spend weeks making products by hand. You set up the store, which takes another 40 hours. You run ads to get traffic, which costs money. You get a few sales, but the profit margin is razor thin after you account for platform fees, payment processing, shipping, and advertising costs. You sell a product for $40. The platform takes $4. Shipping costs $8. The product cost you $15. The ad that brought the customer cost you $10, but just made $3 profit. And it took you 2 hours to package and ship that one order. You made $1.50 an hour. But you keep going because the gurus on YouTube told you that if you just scale up, it'll all work out. Except scaling means spending more on ads, buying more inventory, and working even more hours for the same terrible margins. Most e-commerce side hustles fail within the first year. The ones that succeed are run by people who already had money to invest and who treat it like a full-time business, not a side hustle. Here's the deeper problem that nobody talks about. Side hustles don't scale linearly. They scale logarithmically. What that means is this: your first $1,000 a month from a side hustle is relatively easy. You hustle hard, you find a few clients or make a few sales, and you hit that number. But going from $1,000 to $2,000 is way harder. And going from $2,000 to $5,000 is exponentially harder than that. Because you're still trading your time for money, and you only have so many hours in the day. To scale past a certain point, you need to invest heavily in systems, automation, employees, or advertising. That requires capital that most people don't have. So they get stuck in the $500 to $2,000 a month range, working themselves to death for what amounts to a part-time job's worth of income. Meanwhile, their day job, the thing they're trying to escape, is the one with actual scaling potential. Raises, promotions, bonuses, benefits, but they've mentally checked out of their real job because they're too focused on the side hustle that's going nowhere. They're sabotaging their actual income source to chase a side hustle that's making them $1,200 a month before taxes. And let's talk about taxes, because this is where people get destroyed. When you work a W-2 job, taxes are simple. They come out of your paycheck, and that's it. But when you're self-employed, even part-time, you owe income tax and self-employment tax. That's an extra 15.3% on top of whatever income tax bracket you're in. Most people starting side hustles don't set aside money for taxes. They see $1,500 hit their bank account and think, "Great, I made $1,500. Then April rolls around and they owe $600 to the IRS that they don't have. So they either go into debt to pay the taxes or they get hit with penalties and interest, which makes the whole situation worse. Your side hustle income isn't really yours until after you've paid taxes on it. And for most people, that tax bill comes as a brutal surprise. But here's where the side hustle trap gets truly insidious. It's stealing your most valuable resource: time. You've got a full-time job that takes 40 to 50 hours a week. You've got a side hustle that takes another 15 to 20 hours. That's 60 to 70 hours a week of work. When do you see your family? When do you exercise? When do you sleep? When do you invest in relationships or hobbies or anything that makes life worth living? You don't. You're grinding constantly, telling yourself it's temporary, telling yourself it'll pay off eventually. But for most people, it doesn't. You're sacrificing your health, your relationships, and your mental well-being for an extra $1,000 a month that barely moves the needle on your financial situation. And here's the math that nobody wants to face. If your side hustle nets you $1,000 a month after expenses and taxes, that's $12,000 a year. That's great, except you could have made that same amount by getting a 10% raise at your day job. One conversation with your boss, one job switch to a competitor, one certification that makes you more valuable. Any of those could get you $12,000 more per year, and you wouldn't have to work an extra 20 hours a week to get it. But people don't think that way. They think their job is fixed, their salary is locked in, and the only way to earn more is to hustle outside of work. That's exactly backward. Your day job is where you have the most leverage to increase your income. You're already there 40 hours a week. You already have relationships and credibility. You already understand the system. Investing time in getting better at your day job, negotiating raises, switching to higher-paying companies, that's where the real money is. Not in driving Uber at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. But hustle culture has convinced people that their job is the enemy and the side hustle is freedom. So they pour all their energy into the thing with the lowest return on investment while neglecting the thing that actually pays their bills. Now, I'm not saying side hustles are always bad. There are specific scenarios where they make sense. If you're building a skill that could eventually replace your day job income, that's strategic. If you're testing a business idea with minimal time investment to see if it has legs, that's smart. If you genuinely enjoy the side hustle and it's more of a hobby that makes money, great. Seriously, stressed and barely breaking even while telling yourself you're building something, you need to stop lying to yourself. Just define building a business. You're not working a second job with worse pay and no benefits. You can see that what actually works if you want to increase your income. I wanted to first focus on your primary income source. Decision, get better at your job. This one you for raise. They visit companies if you're underpaid. This one good job switch can get you a 20% to 30% raise. That's $10,000 to $20,000 more per year for the same 40 hours you're already working. Second, if you're going to do a side hustle, make sure the math actually works. Calculate your real hourly rate after expenses and taxes. If it's less than your day job pays, you're moving backward. Third, don't fall for the revenue flex. Someone making $10,000 a month isn't rich if they're spending $9,500 to generate it. Profit is the only number that matters. And fourth, protect your time like it's your most valuable asset. Because it is. An extra $500 a month isn't worth destroying your health and relationships. You can't buy back time. Once it's gone forever. The side hustle economy exists because wages haven't kept up with costs. People are struggling, so they're looking for solutions. And the hustle gurus saw an opportunity to sell them a dream while extracting value from their desperation. You're not lazy for not having a side hustle. You're not unambitious for working one job and going home. You're smart enough to realize that working 70 hours a week for an extra $800 a month isn't freedom. It's exploitation with better marketing. The real path to wealth isn't hustling harder. It's working smarter, increasing the value of your primary income, keeping your expenses in check, and investing the difference. That's boring. It's not Instagram worthy, but it's the truth. And the truth is that most side hustles are a trap designed to keep you busy, broke, and too exhausted to realize you're running on a treadmill going nowhere. Stop hustling. Start strategizing. Your future self will thank you.